Nearly 5 years after the COVID-19 outbreak, China may now have a mystery virus on the prowl. According to reports, China has been battling an outbreak of human metapneumovirus or HMPV. What is known about it? How dangerous is it? As per the information available so far, HMPV causes symptoms similar to influenza as well as COVID-19. However, unlike the two, it currently does not have any corresponding vaccine. How concerning is that? Let's first tell you more about what is known. According to experts, HMPV infections rose in mainland China over the past few days. In the northern province in China, reportedly the infection rate has shown an upward trend. On Friday, China's Diseases Control Authority said that it was piloting a monitoring system for pneumonia, whose origin is unknown as of now. The Chinese medical body reportedly also said that cases of some respiratory diseases are expected to rise through the winter. It's reportedly to establish a dedicated system that can help the authorities set up protocols to handle unknown pathogens. Not just that, according to the state broadcaster CCTV, the National Disease Control and Prevention Administration is set to establish a separate procedure for laboratories to report as well as for prevention agencies to verify and handle cases. You see, all of this is happening and is being closely looked at given the backdrop of the COVID-19 mayhem. Responding to this outbreak, the Deputy Director of Taiwan Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, has said that Taiwan is closely monitoring the virus as well. Why is that? As it suspects that the outbreak might also affect Taiwan. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, a leading epidemiologist has recently reportedly said that levels of HMPV remained low even amid the outbreak in mainland China. But what exactly is HMPV and what do we know about it? According to the official of Taiwan CDC, it is a common type of respiratory virus that mainly causes more serious illness in young children and older adults, as well as those with compromised immune systems. In others, the symptoms of this infection are in fact quite similar to those of the common cold. Therefore, symptoms commonly associated with HMPV include cough, fever, nasal congestion, and shortness of breath. However, clinical symptoms of HMPV infection may progress to bronchitis or pneumonia and are similar to other viruses that cause upper and lower respiratory infections. Now, can it turn deadly? According to the Chinese CDC, while the virus usually poses no major risks, those with pre-existing lung conditions like asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, etc., are at a higher risk of severe outcomes. How does it get transmitted? HMPV most likely gets spread from an infected person to others through secretions from coughing and sneezing and close personal contact, such as touching or shaking hands, or even touching parts of the face after touching objects or surfaces which may be contaminated with the virus. I know what you're thinking. Sounds a lot like COVID-19, right? Perhaps sounds like a nightmarish deja vu nobody wants to play out in real life. Well, the similarities are simply hard to miss. However, there is one big difference, a crucial one, that stands out. The fact that HMPV has no vaccine as of now, nor does it have an effective cure. Medical experts, in fact, saying that it's still mostly unknown to the general public, and this makes a difference when it comes to raising awareness surrounding it. You see, it may be purely incidental that almost 5 years after official cases of COVID-19 were first recorded, that China is battling another virus outbreak. However, what happened then and what happens now can be separated by one factor, the factor of transparency. You see, there are several reports, critical accounts, suggesting that China had withheld critical information in the early stages of the COVID-19 outbreak. Not just that, as per investigations that were led post-COVID-19, researchers were said to have isolated and mapped the virus causing COVID-19. This was at least 2 weeks before Beijing revealed details of the virus to the world this time around, Will that change? Can China be expected to take the outbreak of HMPV a lot more seriously? Also, exercise transparency regarding the plausible dangers that the virus may be posing in China and beyond, as well as China's plans to tackle the virus, should it turn even more severe in the coming days. Former US President Jimmy Carter is no more. Have you heard about the village of Kartarpuri? Kartarpuri village, located in India's Gurugram district. It holds a unique place in both local and international contexts. Due to its association with the former American president, it's often called his India connection. We are on Siddhant Sibal getting us this report. Take a look.
This place can be any other place in the suburbs of Delhi, with its kacha roads and newly built houses. But this place has been an important milestone in Indo-US ties. This is Kartarpuri, named after former US President Jimmy Carter. Originally known as Daulatpur Nasirabad, this village is located in the Gurugram district of Haryana. It was renamed Kartarpuri in honor of the 39th United States President Jimmy Carter after his visit to the village on January 3rd in 1978, along with his wife, Rosalind Carter. Old-timers recall his visit fondly, many in their 90s now, while the young mention the stories told by the elders with great interest. How the village became a center of attraction with high security presence. Many say that his visit spurred the development of the village.
There were a lot of government cars that came. The fields were sowed, kacha houses were whitewashed, and there were so many cars. He was also taken to a gas plant. He was made to wear the traditional clothes of our place, like a cap and shirt and a shawl.
10 women at the school in this village did his tika, and other 10 made him wear a traditional shawl. There was nothing here, no lanes and no wells. Everything got built when he came.
Carter's visit was significant because his mother, Lillian Carter, had previously worked in the village in the late 1960s as a member of the Peace Corps, creating a personal connection between the former president and the community. The village celebrated when Carter won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Carter was the third US president to visit India. His 1978 India visit was aimed at resetting Indo-US ties. During the visit, he held talks with former Indian Prime Minister Morarji Desai, got a public reception at Ramlila Maidan. But the one that is remembered today is his visit to village Kartarpuri. The village is part of the urban sprawl of Gurugram, one of India's rapidly developing regions. It has a history that locals won't forget. The economy of Kartarpuri is closely tied to the industrial development of Gurugram. Many residents work in nearby factories, Indian military, and small businesses catering to the local economy.
Kartarpuri is named after US President Jimmy Carter. He visited this village, and the people of this village are very proud of not only the visit, but the fact that they're named after the President of the United States who visited this village in 1978. And whenever the history of India-US relationship will be talked about, the name of this village will always crop up. With video journalist Dheeraj Patel, Siddhant Sibal for WION in Kartarpuri, Haryana.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do, they say. But when it comes to Greece, the Greek pretty much seem to be flouting their own rules. How is that, you ask? Even 14 years after Greece officially banned smoking in indoor public places, people can still be spotted lighting up in closed settings. The question is, when the European Union urged countries to extend smoking bans to outdoor spaces to achieve a tobacco-free generation by 2040, what does all of this really mean? No points for guessing what Greece said. Let's tell you more about this. The current health minister has said that Greece would not extend smoking restrictions in line with the European Union recommendation during a December meeting of European health ministers in a vote on the non-binding measure. Greece abstained along with Germany. You see, Greece and smoking share a strange connection to the point of it getting unhealthy, quite literally. Just last year, a health profile of Greece from the European Commission reported that about a fifth of the country's deaths in 2019 could be attributed to tobacco smoking, including both direct and second-hand. But that has done practically little to curb smoking practices among the population. While some might do this out of sheer habit, many also possibly think they could simply get away with it. According to the European Commission, more than a third of Greeks regularly indulge in smoking, which makes it second in the European Union after Bulgaria to take up smoking among Europeans. To tackle this, tougher measures were introduced, including banning smoking in all indoor public areas in 2010, post which the country's statistics agency has recorded a significant drop in smoking. However, the ban got widely flouted in the days that followed. In 2019, a law mandated fines of €100, which is roughly about $105, to be charged from those caught smoking indoors. And when it came to businesses and enterprises, the same fine amount rose. And a complaints hotline was also set up. What's more, the health minister of Greece saying that indoor smoking has been stamped out altogether. However, as per experts, it's simply not enough. And what's more challenging is to unseat deeply ingrained attitudes and a culture that basically supports smoking, as well as authorities not placing stricter measures to nip it in the bud. So what is the way out? The solution pretty much lies in the problem itself. Experts suggesting one has to start with changing the very mindset, where more people are educated about the perils of smoking and its ill effects, including its impact on one's life expectancy. And for that, authorities need to come together and collaborate with the civilians to actually practice what they preach by following the rules of indoor smoking bans to the T.